Today is the warmest day that we've had in a little bit. 46 degrees, not that bad actually, but yeah.
What a sick storage unit we got for the bikes now. It's just gonna be much better than my stupid apartment garage that was like really failing on me and not really working out too well. It's a nice dry space. We could probably fit a bike right there, there, and I still have the apartment garage at home. So more bikes.
Yay!
Yeah! Let's go actually do motorcycle stuff now because we have a spot to keep it. Right now it's saying 2 hours until totally clear skies. Still only about 50 degrees out, but that's warm enough for us in Ohio to ride some bikes. We do have a lot of motorcycle modifications to get to today, including an exhaust system, a bunch of add-on parts. I did also bring my helmet right back there just in case we do get a chance to ride today. I doubt it, but you never know in Ohio.
As we're driving north, somehow the weather is getting worse. No!
Oh, it's still wet out here. So this is how you know that I have a day off from school, is when we have weather like this. So yesterday was a perfect 50-degree day, no rain, nothing, but I was stuck in classes all day. And of course, the one day that I have off, my original plan was I wanted to take the H2 out for a ride. Unfortunately, on our way over here to where the H2 is currently being stored, I always get unlucky, don't I? While we were making our way over here, unfortunately, it started really heavily downpouring, so I got really unlucky. Fortunately, we do have a little break in the clouds right now, and there's a chance this might dry up later, and we might be able to get to ride a little bit, but let's not count our eggs before they're hatched, all right? So first order of magnitude, we have a couple of motorcycle mods that we want to install and unbox for you guys today. First one being this nice little Akrapovic exhaust system. This is another motorcycle exhaust system that I bought. I paid $1,600 for this exhaust system. This is for my Yamaha R6. I wanted to unbox this one with you guys just so you could see what this whole process looks like. I've been dying to get into this box, but I've been waiting just so you guys could see the impressions with me and get my actual pure impressions of all this. So last time we unboxed the $5,000 exhaust system for the Ducati V4. This is just a $1,600 system for my R6, which, listen, I understand. Just a $1,600 system, like, it's still a lot of money for just an exhaust system, but this one, in my opinion, is a little bit cooler because it's a full system. Ta-da! And come on. Ah, there she is. A beautiful long pipe system for the Yamaha R6, dude. This is, I thought, was a full titanium system. This does not feel like titanium. This feels like stainless steel. So this doesn't feel like titanium. I could have sworn I paid the full amount for the full titanium system, so I'm a little bit concerned now. I mean, feel it. This is heavy, dude. That's not what titanium feels like. I'm a little bit worried right now. Did I just pay $1,600 for a stainless steel exhaust? Did I just get ripped off? I'm not stupid when it comes to bike stuff, bro. Like, I know I've dealt with a lot of bikes. For better or for worse, like, I know this stuff. Dude, I don't think this is titanium. It's got bluing on the welds, which leads me to believe that this is titanium, but that feels heavy. Like, that's not, if it is titanium, it's not good quality titanium. It's not like the Ducatis, where it's like, you pick it up and it felt like a paper, like nothing. It felt like this feels as heavy as the full long pipe was on the Ducati. So a little bit concerned here. Yeah, you know what? If you guys are curious what the full system is gonna look like when it's fully installed. This is, of course, my friend's Yamaha R1, but this is the R6 pipe, literally identical. So it's gonna look pretty much the same when it's fully installed. But I'm a little bit curious. Let's see if we got ripped off. Let's see if this is real titanium. Don't try this at home, kids. I'm starting to see a little bit of color change. It's happening really slowly. It's not like a Ducati where it's instant. I'm seeing a little bit of color change right there. I think that this is real titanium. It just happens to be a really low grade quality version of it. So Acra, definitely not making, I mean, it just goes to show you the Ducati systems are $5,000, but you're getting a way higher grade of titanium compared to this. So it is what it is. Let's just keep unboxing it. My bad. I didn't mean to ruin the vibes or anything, but it feels a lot heavier. Like, I hate to point that out, but for $1,600. It just sucks that I'm not getting like the full high quality system I thought I was. Like, you think when you pay that much for an exhaust system, you get the best, and the rest of this is just bolts. So this is the full system unboxed right there. It is a full system, so it has the headers, the link pipe, and the full muffler there. So it's at least the best sounding exhaust system out there for the R6, which a big reason why I bought the R6 was for that sound, and so that was a big factor why I bought this bike. And so of course I'm gonna pay a little bit extra to get the full sound. I always love putting exhaust systems on my bikes. That just makes them sound so much better. Ugh. Got that done. let's go get the rest of these mods open, huh? Ah, squeezing it through. Supermoto, right? Easy. This is the Ducati 698. I feel like a lot of people forgot I even own this bike. You haven't really seen this bike since California. I did have it shipped back here to Ohio, so not that big of a deal. We're gonna be unboxing a lot of new modifications to us, sent us courtesy of Supermoto Fools. They sent me all this stuff for free. They just DM'd me asking if they could send me a bunch of free stuff, and I said, sure, that'd be awesome. We got carbon fiber fork covers. That's gonna go, I think, right here. A brand new pair of levers for my Ducati Supermoto. These really high quality levers that we can replace these kind of crappy OEM ones. These are like more Supermoto-esque levers in my opinion. These give it a little bit more of a vibe. One of my personal favorites that they sent me, hand guards that also act as turn signals. They'll replace the turn signals and just act like they're gonna replace this entire thing, and then they'll have like a little integrated turn signal. Really cool. So once again, shout out to Supermoto Fools. Thank you for sending me these hand signal hand guards, or turn signal hand guards. Really cool stuff. I had plans to film this bike today, but those plans haven't really materialized, mainly because the weather doesn't seem to be working in my favor necessarily, so it is unfortunate a little bit. I only have 2,195 miles on this bike, even though I bought this bike last June. I've owned this bike for almost a year now, and only having barely 2,000 miles on this bike is sad. I have some reasons why I didn't get to ride this bike as much last summer. I had some problems with a roommate last year, which is why I was forced to move in the middle of summer, and I had to stay back at my parents for a little bit in between. So like I was in between garages, and while I was in between garages, this bike was being kept here. I didn't have access to it pretty much half the summer and while I was living at my parents' house. On top of that, after I got this bike fully broken in, after that 600 mile mark, it then had to sit for another 2 weeks while I was waiting for Jason, one of the techs here, to be able to do the turbine service on this bike. That's something you need to do at the first service on this motorcycle, and also every 15,000 miles after that. That costs $1,500 to do, by the way. And then towards the end of the season, I completely roasted the rear tire on this motorcycle, and then I crashed, and so I couldn't replace the rear tire until I recovered from my motorcycle crash. It was a series of very unfortunate events of why I couldn't ride this motorcycle pretty much the entire of the year. It's not that I hate this bike. It's honestly like not that bad to ride. The problem is it's such a specific purpose built bike. It's only built to do one thing, and that is to go as fast as you can in a straight line, which is like on par with a lot of other motorcycle YouTubers here on this space. Like they buy sport bikes like S1K Rocket, S1000RR, CBR, Fastlane D has an H2, R1M, like all these super fast straight line motorcycles. Problem is to me that that gets old after a little bit. Like going fast on a straight line, first of all, it's not the type of content that I post or want to post. It's just not very fun to make that type of content. I like having this bike around so I can do that if I want to, but it's not mainly how I spend the majority of my riding, if I'm honest with you. That's why when I went to California, I brought this motorcycle. This motorcycle is a lot more fun to have out there. It's just the problem is people don't seem to be as interested in watching this motorcycle as they do this bike. And so therein lies a little bit of crossover. I'm fortunate enough that my page is doing well enough that I can afford to have both bikes, but if it became a choice, if I could only have one of these bikes, I would have to choose the H2, mainly because of what you guys seem to want to watch. And that is unfortunately the main reason why I keep this bike around. Are there better motorcycles for cheaper? Yeah. Unfortunately, the BMW S1000RR is going to be a lot better of a daily driver compared to this bike. My Ducati V4, the reason I bought that bike is because it's a lot more reasonable and easier to ride than this motorcycle. A Kawasaki ZX-10R is going to be a lot better of a motorcycle than this bike. But a big primary reason why I keep it around is just because people are so fascinated with the Kawasaki H2. Even 10 years after this motorcycle came out, it came out in 2015. They basically haven't changed it since then. They just released the 2025 model, which I didn't even think that they were going to do that, but they did for whatever reason. Fine. It's not that I think that the Kawasaki H2 is a bad motorcycle. I like to talk about bikes and like talk about their flaws without trying to call them like a blanket bad motorcycle. Like it's a good bike. It just has flaws. Am I glad I bought this bike? Dude, for sure. It was such a fascinating experience to learn how this bike truly rides, because every time I went out and asked somebody if I could ride their Kawasaki H2, they always told me no. So I had no idea how they actually rode until I bought one for myself and rode it around. The problem is I just like riding so much, and this bike is so unbelievably unreasonable. It's hard to justify it in my lineup because there are better bikes that are more reasonable that go just as fast. I don't want to sell this bike is because if you go back and watch my videos in the fall of when I was actually riding this thing, I said a couple times in my videos to remind myself, don't sell it. There was a lot of times when I was riding this bike, when I was recording, and I'm like, hey Jake, if you're watching this back, don't sell the H2, keep it. And So it's hard for me to judge this bike when I'm not able to ride it for 2 months, if that makes sense. It is a very incredibly unique motorcycle compared to the ones that I also own. And so if there was one other reason, like let's say if every time I posted this bike, it still got 0 views. Like for some reason, YouTube just started suppressing Kawasaki H2 content. I would still probably keep this bike because it's so unique compared to my other bikes. I just say the sole reason is because it gets viewership is the reason I keep it, mainly because if I had to sell my other bikes, which I don't right now, this would be the one I would keep. So there's mainly 2 reasons. I'm sorry to clickbait you, but there actually was 2 reasons why I keep this bike, mainly for that unique riding experience and because it gets viewership. But that viewership one, that's a big primary reasons of why I keep this bike around. People are interested in the H2 and the lifestyle that comes with it. Just because of the circumstances in which the area I was born in and where my parents are and my friends are, I live in one of the states with the worst weather of all time, and so I can't ride it right now. Starting to get a little depressed here. Obviously the weather is not working out with me. This is kind of what you guys are missing. There's still snow on the ground, dude. There is clear skies right now, so there is a chance maybe that this dries up. Currently 47 degrees. It is only 1:45 p.m. Sunset isn't until 6:13 tonight. The sun is still hiding behind the clouds here at Ducati Cleveland, but there's a chance that some of this dries up and we can actually take the bikes out for a rip, but it's just a waiting game at this point. And just like that, we're saying goodbye to the bikes for a little bit. We might be back if the weather clears up a little bit, but in the meantime, we're gonna be going to an undisclosed location I can't reveal to the camera. We're gonna see if we can get a little motorcycle carrier on here so we can try to get one of my bikes home. This is the sketchiness of all sketchiness. We got the MT-07 loaded up in the back of the truck. A little bit weird. It had a couple issues getting it tied down. We are not experts in this field whatsoever, so very much jerry-rigged, but
the comments are gonna roast us.
I don't care. We're doing the best with what we got. Jesus Christ, dude. This is probably the sketchiest thing I've ever done in my life. Look how it moves. Oh my God. So clearly this was not the best idea I've ever had in my life. I bought this thing originally to make it easier for me to take bikes on solo trips, but that's clearly not working. This is clearly not working. You see all this like movement, this like lateral movement that the bike has when it's on the truck? See, that's not from the straps. The straps are about as tight as they possibly can be. It's because the hitch thing is just too wobbly. And I don't trust it, man. I'm sure this thing is probably rated to do everything just fine, but to be honest with you, it's not saving that much height. I think I'd rather just walk a bike up with ramps, if I'm totally honest with you. Did I waste $600? I don't know, man.
Yeah, you did.
Probably. It's just, hey, I make mistakes so you don't have to, right? Let's get this bike off of here and let's take this thing for a ride. We successfully got the MT-07 off the ramps, thank God. Now it's just time to pack up the truck, get this bike to Ducati. Let's go! So for those of you who don't know, this is my Yamaha MT-07. This is my 2022 Yamaha MT-07. It is the cheapest and slowest motorcycle that I've owned in a long period of time. A lot of people think it's a little strange I own a bike this cheap, but it's a bike that has a lot of little character. I like to dog on this bike a lot because it doesn't have as good as brakes, it has horrible suspension compared to my other bikes, the chassis flexes a lot, but it's still a good motorcycle. The first ride of 2025, baby. It's been so long since I've hopped on a motorcycle. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't sell this bike for a different one. I was so tempted, man, because every time I don't ride a motorcycle for a little bit, its flaws become exacerbated a bit. I sit there, I'm sitting at my desk in school or something, I'm like, yeah, the MT-07, like, it's not as good as the other bikes, I could get a better one. Why? Why do I think these things? Why do I think so hard about it, bro? It's not that big of a complicated issue. It's a fun motorcycle. If it brings me joy, I shouldn't sell it. But then it's so hard. I get so hard on myself for it. Are there better bikes? Yeah, but nothing's the MT-07. I want to start doing more of this season because I've stopped caring so much, if I'm honest with you. I'm just gonna go right in here. No apologies, I'm just gonna start doing it. I learned enough from California, it's safer. I'm not gonna cut all the way to the front, I'm not that bad, but like, everybody's on their phone these days anyway. I'm not gonna get rear-ended. I don't feel like getting rear-ended this year. If someone wants to get mad about it, free content. Oh God, I forgot about this. You gotta be joking. Oh, well, keep that in mind, I guess, for the future. That sucks to get this thing just covered in
salt water. Oh boy, traffic! Yeah! Oh boy! Oh no, no, more. I mean, if it wasn't for like the little patches of water here and there, it honestly wouldn't be that bad. Okay, when I'm talking about salt hurting your motorcycle, I'm not referring to that much salt. There's obviously still a little bit of salt on the road. We just had a massive rainstorm. Obviously, I got rid of the majority of it. If there's that little amount of salt over there, like, that's not going to hurt your bike. I'm sorry, but the road grime, like the stuff, like the black stuff that accumulates on your motorcycle throughout the summer, that actually has more harmful contaminants on your that's going to hurt your motorcycle more than that amount of salt. Please, if you're on your motorcycle and there's only that much amount of salt on the road, please go grab your bike. There's little bits of NaCl left on the road here and there, but your bike's not gonna melt, bro. People out on the coast, like people who live on the eastern or western seaboard, they deal with more salt sea spray from the ocean than you do. Obviously, if the roads are caked in salt, then that's different. If you ride your bike and you can physically see the salt on it after you get off of it, okay, fine. I'm with you there. But it's the people that are like, I'm not riding until all the salt is off the road and I can't see it anymore. It's like, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not still there. It's still there. And like, once you salt a road, like, the salt stays there until like June, bro. Like, it's just like not visible because it's very water soluble. But it's not gonna hurt your bike. If you ride your bike enough and put enough miles on it, it's eventually gonna look clapped out anyway. So who cares? Enjoy your machines while you have them. While you're alive and you're able, you're healthy. It's more fun. Oh, I miss this so much. This is so much better. This makes me so happy, bro. And just like that, she's a little bit filthy. Oh no! She might be a little bit dirty here. That always just sucks to see, you know what I mean, man? A bike I worked so hard for getting so wet. I mean, we did go through a couple puddles on the way here. Nothing too bad, though. I mean, it doesn't look like traditional salt. At least not most of it. There's a few bits right there that kind of look a little salty, but I don't care at this point, if I'm honest with you. It's not that bad. Kind of sucks to see. I'm sorry, bro. This winter has been taking way too long. If the roads look like this, if it's like these little tiny speck of salt, like, it's not gonna hurt the bike. Obviously, I rode in a little bit of salt water, which wasn't ideal. I can come back later and clean this thing up. Oh well. I get every motorcyclist every single year, myself included, is always like, ooh, the salt, no, the salt. And there's probably going to be guys out there who are commenting being like, oh, the salt's not, like, who cares, bro? Ride your bikes. And you guys are right. I hate to say it. You guys have the correct opinion. I just wish I could care less about my things, and so I wouldn't have to be so stressed out about it. But whatever. I love these bikes. They're meant to be, motorcycles are meant to be ridden. They're not meant to be cooped up in garages as I shut the door on mine. We did it, dude.
Yeah.
Woo!
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm shaking a little bit. We still are not done with today. I'm going to end today's vlog here just because this episode has gone on for so long. I'm going to need to cut this into 2 parts. So make sure you guys stick around for part 2. It's going to be coming really soon. I'm not going to spoil what the next part is, but I think you guys already know. Stick around. Bye.